All right, welcome back to JYR Trades. Today is Thursday, April the 9th, and what a day it was to learn from the market, to let it speak, for us to listen, and for us to learn and possibly speak back to it. All right, guys, so as always, before I go any further, guys, everything that I share on this channel, everything that I post is for educational purposes. Nothing is financial advice. However, if you want to learn how to trade, market structure, auction theory, equilibriums, liquidity, then you're in the right place. If you want to learn how to trade like the big institutions, this is the channel to follow. So if you want to follow me on this journey, please hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comments, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, so the first thing that I'm going to ask myself is, how did price open today at New York, when New York opened? All right, did we open outside or inside the mids, or inside value, I should say? Well, these two white lines here represents previous New York value, and as you can see, price open inside. So by nature, guys, by definition, New York is going to open in a rotational mode. Understand that. So that means it's going to rotate. Now, are we going to rotate all day long? That's the next question that we got to ask ourselves. Where is price opening? Yes, we're opening inside value, but are we opening inside the mids or inside the POCs? That's really the main question. Inside the mids. And the answer is no. Our mids, yes, they're within value. You can see Asia mid right here, and London mid right here. So we were opening inside value, but price is not opening inside the mids. All right, and as the other thing that I want to point out is that you see the mids are actually leaning to the south. In other words, to value area low versus value area high. Okay, now our two POCs are right here. One is London and one is Asia. And the one thing that I will tell you is this, is that when I looked at this, I see that the mids were pointing south or leaning south, and our POCs were actually above. So what is that telling me right off the bat is two things, is that the mids tell a story that they're going to try to trap to the south, but our POCs are actually pointing to the north. Okay, now let's look at how New York opened. Okay, first thing you'll notice is that price decided, okay, remember we have our New York value area high, our value area low here, and price decided to give us a fake move to the downside, and then it tested VWAP. From VWAP, it decided to go to our value area high, and from our value area high, price decided to go all the way down towards our value area low. Once it tested down here and price could no longer actually hold down here, what did it do? It started coming back up. And I need you to understand here something very important, because I have several of my programs here, my Remitar programs, okay, that I've written myself, and you can see these three larger bands here, the green, the white, and the red. And you can see how the red is almost intersecting with our value area low. Once price got over the value area low and our Remitar 2.0 and our Remitar 2.1 lines, which are these thinner lines, the same colors, green, white, and red, once decided to go over it, this was the move of the day. Okay, because from here on, I want you to see how price decided to go through VWAP, through the POCs, right, through my mid section of Remitar 2.0, okay, and then continue to auction 0, Remitar's green line, all the way to my value area high, come back, okay, all right, into post migration 0. And of course, this is my cloud. This is one of my other programs here. Okay, and went through the cloud, and at this point, what does it do? Goes through value area high once again, comes back, and it continues. Okay, now you'll see that uh, price found the range here, okay, for New York PM, and I'll talk this about this here in just a minute. uh, but first I want to talk about the trades that I took, guys. All right, today at work I had to trade before a certain time because we were doing specific things, and I could not really be in front of the computer. And so before the day got started at work, I took a trade from here to here. Okay, I made some money here, took some profit, and then I was kind of thinking about taking another trade here, and I did take it on the short going to the downside, but because of work and I wasn't able to again stay with it, I just decided to exit out. And boy, I was kind of kind of upset that, and not upset, but kind of disappointed that I didn't stick around because, the move, I mean, at least VWAP could have been a good target, but nonetheless, the reality is that I already know that when we're in a rotational mode, from value area high to value area low, it's going to make one rotation at the minimum. Actually, two. And this was the second one. But the real move was again this one here. Now, I got to tell you, towards the end of the day at work, things started to slow down. And I took a trade. I was a little happy, I should say. I saw right here Remitar, all right, give me a rejection here, and I thought to myself, well, we're gonna go to the ceiling once again to our previous day high, and boy, it went ahead, started coming back, and I took a loss. I had my stop loss right around break of structure, right around here, and I had my stop loss, and I haven't had one. I haven't had one in a while, and I'm glad it happened because it showed me one thing, is that I took this trade based on impulse, not so much in structure. I know better when it comes to New York PM because one thing is my Remitar 2.0, my bands that become flat when New York PM starts, they were below us. So that in alone was telling me that price was not really gonna go that much higher. That was one thing, okay? But I will say I've been working on other versions of Remitar, okay, and I do need to show you a couple of things here. All right, and I gotta say, Remitar, I created the ability to look at the previous day auction zero, which is this one here, and to my surprise, I mean our current auction zero is this one here for the day. So tomorrow this is gonna become this, but here you can see that the previous one, the range was from previous day high to our previous day auction zero. I mean, it was just going back and forth. So I took a loss here, and I waited patiently. Okay, waited patiently, and once I saw that our EMA bands were beginning to get like compressing more and more, I realized that at one point the structure was going to drop eventually back into it here. And I literally took a trade right around here, okay, and I did get some drawdown for a while, a little uncomfortable, but then eventually I just saw that move and boom, it went to it, and it felt good. It felt good to see it and to target it and to make it happen. And you know what? Look what it did once again. Kept on going. Now I've been building other versions on Remitar. And here you can see that it gave me an early long signal here, but then also gave me a building short, and then it said fail build. So that was telling me right there that the early long was the real move. And I decided to. Well, I didn't take a trade here, but you'll see that my Remitar 2.1 lines were lining up, and boy, they went through it. And I saw this move as it was happening because at work we were already done with what we were supposed to do, and I was like, wow, maybe I should have got in there, but no, I needed to observe. I needed to observe. And I gotta say is that today was a huge day. It had been a while since we've seen a rotational day. We've seen a lot of repair days, continuation, some expansion, some trend continuation days, but today was a while. Then we've seen a rotational, and I kind of had forgotten the feeling. But I will say this, okay? If you're late to the party, and if you've seen some of my other videos, the move to the top side, like I said, for me, now that I have Remitar, this was the move right here. But if you were late to it, this rejection here from auction zero, that was the move right there too, because the rejection or the reclaim from auction zero is the one that gets you going. And that move right there, I mean, to previous day high was well over 180 points. Definitely a good move. But I mean, guys, today from rotation to rotation, I mean, value to value, 100 points right here. Okay, 100 points. Great day. But I'm excited about this right here. This is giving me another visual. And as you can see here, you can see the previous day auction zero. These lines lined up perfectly with the system, and I'm excited to see how that works out in the future. Okay. All right, so I think this kind of completes our lesson for the day, guys. Again, for me today confirmed something big, and that was do not assume direction at the open. Okay, let the market rotate, then wait for the reclaim. Okay, like I said, once this reclaim above value area low came, that was the move right there. Okay, remember the story that I told you. Okay, our mids are the trap. They were the trap. Our POCs were above them. That's telling you ahead of time we want to go topside. But first, we're going to rotate. We're going to test both sides. And that's what it did. So the moment that you saw that it went to value area high first, the reality is that it's going to go to value area low. And then from a value area low, that's a possibility that from there on, it's going to go to the top side. Now, could it rotate some more and do this? Absolutely. But then eventually, the move would have gone to the top side. Okay. So with that said, guys, overall today was a solid day. Finished green, learned a lot, and that's really what matters, because we're building, we're compounding knowledge. Don't forget that when you see this video, look at the pinned comment, because the pinned comment is going to have the journal of the day. It's going to have the picture before New York Open, the pre-New York image, so you can look at it, make a connection with the journal, okay, and then look at post New York. I'll set up a picture at the end as well. Alright, with that said, guys, if you learned something and you want to continue joining me on this journey, please hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment. Until the next one.